I'm a feminist, but this week I felt proud of myself for simply arranging some carpentry to be done in my house. Not doing it, just recruiting a man to do it.
You just felt like I'm a boss girl who's
I
called
made
a
a
carpenter.
call. I used mybuilder.com. I called the guy. I booked the guy.
Can I just say
by myself.
Can I just say, I think that, I'll tell you what, that's setting the patriarchy to work. If you were to do it yourself on top of all the emotional labour and the pay gap, it wouldn't be a good use of your time. So I think bossing a man around and going, hang those shelves up, respectfully, of course, and paying him well.
Yeah.
But
I used words like box those pipes. Yeah, it's fine to use MDF. Yeah, well, let's see if he shows up, but I think... Yeah. Once, that's reminded me, a long time ago, when I had a boyfriend, I met his parents, I think for the first time, and he accidentally, they complimented him on his shelves, and he said, yeah, I made them out of MDMA, and then went MDF like that, and I got the giggles. They'd pretended not to notice, and I got the giggles, and we had a huge row because he was like, if you hadn't kept fucking laughing, we could have all moved on from that slip up. And I was like,
you don't want to move on from that slip up.
Yeah.
If someone's confessed
Really
to the
funny.
Mandy, I'm a feminist, but the other day, instead of saying Virginia Woolf, I glitched and said Virginia Fox. And then immediately went, Foxy lady, about the writer of A Rim of One's Own and Three Guineas.
really nice. Mm-hmm. I'm a feminist, but can parents have a strike day next?
Hey!
I just thought, actually, what a funny image. I mean, obviously, I don't think you could do it with, like, the really small ones because they're so thick.
Dependent, I think, is what we call them. Dependent.
Yes, sorry, dependent. Yeah, they'd die. But if you did it, I think it would be funny to watch. If you were like, you're on strike, you're present, you'll be near your home, picketing for better treatment, to be spoken to more nicely, to have requests met in a more fucking timely fashion. And houses would just be full of, like, unwashed, gym-jammed, filthy-teethed, sugared up, square-eyed, not a slammer bank. I mean, they've watched a lot of telly. Like, I think it'd be fascinating.
100%. But would they be leaning out the window going, Mom, where's my netball kit? Or would they be going...
I'd have ear defenders. I'm on strike.
I am loving this idea, and I think you should write an independent film about it, like the day the parents went on strike, and it's just about one street who all decided to do it, and what happened in the Lord of the Flies that continued from that.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
I'm a feminist, but when people assume I'm older than I am, I feel livid. Keeps happening. Where I fucked up, I am the only comedian in the universe who didn't get the memo to be vague about her age from the beginning. So my real date of birth's on my Wikipedia page. What am I fucking going to do with that? There's no point lying about it. So I say to people, because it's my 40th this summer, I keep saying to people, I've had, in the last fortnight, Debs, and I should know that this is coming because I've been getting served since I was 13. I've had pretty much every other day for a fortnight, it will come up in conversation, I'm going to be 40 this summer, and I've had people go, yeah, like you're already not. What? Yeah. I had one person, I can't say where, I can, fuck it, in the gym, who genuinely was like, yeah, how many times has it been 40? Which summer is this 40?
What a cunt!
No, well, I genuinely had to go, well, no, I am. And they were like, very good. And it is like,
did you want to go and get your driver's license and go, look at the date, mate?
Like, I didn't ever used to care, and it does feel unfeminist that suddenly I give a shit. Like, it's not comedy, but it is like, fuck you. I don't know. I don't know. It feels like a sign, and the sign reads, Botox time, baby! But no, I did a tweet about it that I enjoyed. Sometimes I feel my funniest when I'm most angry. And I said something like, next person who fucking tells me I look older than I am, you're going to remember this tweet when I've had so much surgery I look like a fucking toddler again. And I meant that. And they can all, yeah. I've had people after that tweet message me going, oh, was I one of the people? And I've gone, yeah.
No! Live from King's Place in London, the Spontaneity Shop presents The Guilty Feminist with me, David Francis White, guest host Jessica Fostekew, and our very special guest, Florence Schechter, talking about vaginas. Hello!
Just seen what's on your webpage there.
It's a question, and it's, will your clitoris disappear if you don't use it? I've got facts about the clitoris. Instead of doing stand-up comedy, I'm going to do an interesting sort of
TED talk about the vag.
But specifically, I've gone for the clit.
Yeah, great, lovely.
Because I thought I can't cover the whole...
embarrassingly, I'm probably going to learn quite a lot. I, 39, queer woman, don't even really understand what bit the piss comes out of.
That's your first time on Feminist Bar.
We've had this conversation before, and I've been shown on diagrams.
Listen, I feel the same. I feel the same. I don't far too little.
Imperceptible.
But what I will say is this: because I have been very busy because of International Women's Day and some writing projects, and because I've got ADHD and I tend to work better at the last minute, today I have learnt an extraordinary amount about Catholic saints and my own clitoris.
What a day.
What a bookend.
What a day.
Yeah, I really have. And if you're listening at home, that is because it's St. Patrick's Day, and so for the first episode that we recorded here tonight, I did a whole bit about feminist saints. So I've really delved deep into feminist saints. But also this episode is about the vagina, so I've dived deep into my own clitoris. Now that sounds painful. But it was better than it sounds. I'm going to try out some of the things I've learned. Take them on the road.
Oh, yeah.
See how it goes.
Okay, great.
First of all, this is The Guilty Feminist, the podcast in which we explore our noble goals as 21st century feminists and the hypocrisies and insecurities which undermine them. I'm Deborah Francis White. With me is Jessica Fostekew, and we are talking about all things vagina.
I thought you were going to say Volvos, and I was like, I'm not prepared.
I wanted to say all things vagina, but I said all things vagina.
I knew where you were going with it. Loved it.
Yeah. I saved it, turned around. I don't think anyone
made
noticed.
It all sort of like vaudeville.
I think I fully got away with it.
All things vagina.
Before we talk about all things...
Have you noticed sometimes when you say... In some situations, someone will say vagina and someone will shout, vulva!
Yeah.
That's it. That happens quite a bit.
Yeah,
someone here, did you have to repress one?
But we're not. We're talking about the whole vag. We're not just talking about the bit you can see. Yeah. So we're allowed to say it. It's a bit like who and whom. You know, when people go, it's whom. It's not always whom. Sometimes it's whom.
I'll get in trouble for this. I'm not supposed to talk about him in comedy ever, but my son's dad keeps trying to persuade him to say Pokemon. Not Pokemon.
No.
He's posher than me, and I was like, what are you doing getting him to say that? And he went, it's short for Pocket Monster. Pokemon. I was like, he will be fucking ostracised. Shut up. He's our son. He's weird enough. Leave him be.
Yeah. Is it Pocket Monster? Is that what it means?
Well, yeah.
Oh, confirmed.
It's been verified.
Confirmed. It's not a Pokemon, it's a Pokemon. It's not a vagina, it's a vulva. Only in this case it is, because we're talking to the director and founder of the world's first bricks and mortar Vagina Museum.
Woo!
There is apparently one in Sweden made of mushrooms and string. But this is the first bricks and mortar one.
Oof.
There's one in Florida made exclusively from marshmallow, although that only lasted a day because it rained. This is the first bricks and mortar. I think bricks and mortar means not online.
Yes.
There's a lot of online things, but like this is, you can go inside the
you can touch it.
Museum.
You can be present there, standing. IRL. It's IRL. I think everyone on it, that's IRL. How you talk to the children.
I mean, I think it's important with the Vagina Museum that you can go inside.
Oh, God. Yeah, see? It's important for you.
Or just play around out the front. Kick a can around, do some high fives out the front. That's also good,
doesn't it?
Also, at least go and look at it. At least touch the vulva of it. So presumably the front of the museum is the vulva. Oh, someone's been revolted by that idea.
Someone's I don't think so straight that's made them wretch.
No, what was the problem there?
We were just having the same exact conversation.
Oh, it was more that you were like...
Thought
Will you wait till we start talking about the fire exit? Yeah, Deborah's not into that, not even conversationally.
You don't know what I'm into. I might well be into the fire exit.
No, you don't like talking about poo-poo.
Oh, I thought you meant anal.
Yeah, I did. That's where poo comes out, Debs. Oh, my God. Now I feel less embarrassed about the wee. Now I feel way less embarrassed about not knowing what the imperceptibly tiny piss pipe is on a woman.
I don't associate
when you did not know that poops come from the butt.
I don't associate anal sex with excrement.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I thought you meant the fire escape, like, and instead you meant go to the loo. I enjoy... well, OK, I'll tell you.
Here we go. Oh, fuck me. Oh, God, I'm so British.
Has anybody here...
put me for
just
this
before
episode?
we proceed, because obviously Vagina Museum is something important, and if you're underage, you brought us, someone who's 12 or something like that, I would not stop, because Vagina Museum, of course, we should all know.
Yeah.
However, has anyone brought anyone underaged or is underage? Just speak now, because I won't go on with this tack. Is everyone over 21? Is anyone under 21? 16. You're 16.
16 should be the level, surely.
Oh, you're not 16. Okay. You're saying 16.
Love it that Deborah was prepared to roll with that.
I don't.
March with it, even.
What a callback! What a callback! She scores.
To the wrong
we
show.
haven't seen a callback like that since the 1977 Just for Laughs Montreal Olympics. That was a brilliant callback. Of course, the audience at home won't understand it because it's from the previous show.
Yeah, wrong show. Fuck that right up.
Love it though. No, you didn't. I don't care, because this is for these people live. They came out. They've paid money. The people at home have paid fuck all.
Fuck them.
Is anybody actually 18? 17? 16? No. Okay. Who's the youngest person in the room then? Who reckons they're the youngest? Shout out if you think you're the youngest. If you're 20, shout out. If you're 21, shout out. God, is our audience very old? If you're under 55, shout out. If you're under 40, shout out.
I've only got a few months left.
If you're under 40... Now it looks like you've been taken where we were just going to go. Just the way you came out of your chair then.
Oh, God. Got to take every chance. Wish I got asked more often before the 5th of July.
If you could please at Jessica Fostekew on Twitter and ask her how old she is before the 4th of July, that'd be really helpful. It's the 4th of July you're born? Born on the 4th of July?
5th.
Oh, 5th. That's disappointing, because it's not like the song. I was born on the 4th of July. Anyway, okay. Okay. Anybody under 30? Anybody under 25? Anybody under 22?
You've already asked 21.
Yeah, I know, but
she's weeding out liars. You play good cop and bad cop.
They
all by
weren't
yourself.
before. I just think people felt shy.
You're playing both cops.
Anyone... so people are under 25. If you're 24, chin out. 23, chin out. 22, chin out. 21, chin out. Anyone younger than that?
No.
Because they're in the cheering mode now. They might not have wanted to cheer for. So the youngest we've got here tonight is 22. 22, are you going to be scarred if we talk about anal? No, okay, fine. Duty of care, yes, yeah, absolutely. I can't remember what I was going to say about it now. Just that, oh yes, I enjoy it. Yeah. And I'll tell you how it came out that I enjoyed it.
Oh, God.
Somebody wrote a sort of clickbaity... In lockdown, which didn't suit my temperament at all. I mean, I don't know how many of you did enjoy it, but some people said to me... Yeah, some people said, for the first 6 months I was in heaven because I could just be... I was, freaking out in the first...
It made you and me weird.
It didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
But some of my friends... I mean, I know it was a horrible time for everyone. I know it was an awful plague. I'm not the real victim of COVID. Can we just caveat it? Can you just make a generous interpretation?
Being very kind. Don't worry.
Could you just generously interpret what I'm saying as I get all of that, and I'm not a nurse and I'm not a frontline worker. It didn't work for me at all. And during it, I found the Guilty Feminist shows hard because I like having an audience. Because if Jess and I are messing around, we know if we're being funny and we're not being self-indulgent if you're laughing, if you're not going for it when we get pivot. But I just hated this kind of Zoom, trying to be funny on Zoom while you're feeling depressed with a comedian who's elsewhere. And audience, I don't know if they're finding it funny or not. And I didn't want to just stand up. I hated the whole... How do you stand up? You're sitting down in your pyjamas weeping into a... I'm not a drinker. I barely ever drink. I would have at 5:30 come around and be like, oh, it's time for a cocktail. Just awful times. And during that time...
Is this going to end in something about bum fun, though?
Yeah. Bum fun. Going somewhere. Sorry, Jess. Oh no, I'm taking the long route.
Yeah.
I've taken the scenic route. Because you've got to understand how I got there. So during that time, I had to do an episode on porn, and I didn't have to, but we were offered someone who was doing feminist ethical porn, and that was their whole thing. And so it was, and Alison Spittle was the co-host who was free, so it wasn't like I was like scouting for a co-host. She and I both have our dynamic when we talk about sex is I was Jehovah's Witness, she's Catholic, so our comedy dynamic, and we've got to find our comedy dynamic. You know. Yeah. My comedy dynamic with you is different from my comedy dynamic with Susan McComa, for example. Or Sindhu V. Like, I'll give you an example. You know, with Sindhu V, I'm the kid and she's the parent. But there are other comedians with whom I'm the parent, they're the kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of your comedy double act. And Alice and I have a thing where if we talk about sex, we do our sort of like, oh, we were repressed religious kids. So our thing to porn, neither of us watch porn, neither of us like porn. So that's where our starting place. But I thought it was quite interesting because someone's going to show us the kind of porn that we might actually like, and, you know, it's going to be different. Anyway... Some people didn't like it and said, oh, well, you were kind of shaming porn, or I don't know, whatever. You know, some people don't like everything, and everyone else was locked in as well, so they were feeling miserable as well. So they were complaining about things that they felt weren't right, and that's fair enough. But somebody wrote a clickbaity blog, and the headline was that I didn't like anal sex, and perhaps if I'd listened to this person, or, you know, if I was, you know, cooler about porn, I might. It would be better for me to interrogate why I don't like anal sex. And now, if this had been a normal week,
this is amazing.
I might have responded. I've never talked about this on the show. It's never come up. But I'll tell you what's happened, Jess.
Yeah, I'm really listening.
I've had to do an Australian writer's room this week, which I've loved doing, but it means I don't finish work till midnight, and my brain's buzzing.
Or...
It's a little Ronnie Corbett digression. So I don't finish work till midnight. I'm buzzing. I haven't slept till 5 a.m. So I am not censoring in the way that I should.
Yeah.
I'm telling you things that I will regret.
Yeah.
I've never told this before, and I'm never going to tell it again.
So someone did a blog saying...
The headline was, Deborah Frances-White would be better off, rather than kind of giggling about porn and saying she doesn't like it, she would be better off interrogating why she does not like anal sex. Now, I didn't need to listen to the edit to find out if I'd broadcast to the internet that I ever said that I didn't like anal sex. Do you know why I knew that I'd never said that? One of my favourite things. Absolutely. Now, I don't do it often because, you know...
Can't be asked. Excuse the pun. There's admin, isn't there? There's admin. And sometimes you actually can't be asked.
It doesn't matter. Let's not go into that part of it. Let's not go right up there. However, I love it.
Yeah.
Now, in a normal week, in a saner week, in a less emotionally, mentally challenged week for me, it being... We think we were at that point of lockdown where we've been in it so long, we were just sort of starting to be... You know, when those things that you could come... A hokey-cokey part of the lockdown where it was like in, out, eat out to help out, stay in to save lives, that part.
Yeah.
Dine out, die out, all of the slogans. I was allowed to go to Soho Theatre that night, and I'll never forget it. I was so angry when I saw this headline. I just saw red in a way that, you know, when the lizard brain is activated, the most unevolved part of the brain. Yeah. So angry was I that I felt someone was so prurient as to make assumptions about what I did and didn't like up my anus. when I hadn't said that, to get a clickbait headline out of my podcast. It was so... And also, who's anyone to tell me and Alison Spittle how we feel about porn when we're doing a comedy show? We interviewed somebody. I was just so angry that I went on Twitter and I quote tweeted it and said... Actually, I love anal, love it all the time, can't get enough off the ass. Oh, I went on a massive public rant. It wasn't an act to that person. I quote tweeted it so the whole world could see.
Love it.
Then I went out. Don't applaud it. It was poor judgment. Don't applaud my poor judgment because it's enjoyable for you. That's not a good thing to put on the internet. If I saw someone else doing that, I'd say, you're not having a good mental health week. And I'd call them up and go, hey, you're my friend.
Okay, hun?
Yeah, I would. But I just saw red and I just went on and on and on and on and on about how much I loved anal sex and my fury and how dare anybody make assumptions and how dare anybody question how I respond to the subject of pornography when I'm a comedian and I'm just, trying to make some of the podcast a bit funny, given its history. And I was just so angry and so upset. And I got to Soho Theatre out of my mind with fury. I'd also come off the internet. I'd come off Twitter. It was a social media manager, not the one we have now, who just dropped it into my inbox and said, hey, I thought you should see this. And I wasn't really... I deliberately put a wall up at that point. And I'm on and off now a bit, but we've got Xanadu who's absolutely brilliant. And this person hadn't meant to upset me, but it came into... And I was just so upset because I wasn't looking at Twitter for a reason and it just fell into my inbox. I was devastated. And I got to, after doing this big rant, which felt so cathartic and so powerful and so amazing, I got to Soho Theatre and I ran into somebody I knew who went, oh, I'd no idea that you liked anal so much. And I went, oh, and she went, I just thought that's so brave. And I went, but you did see it was in response to somebody accusing me of not liking it. And she went, no, I just thought you'd put it up. I didn't see what you're quoting. I just thought it must have been an article about anal sex and you'd endorsed it and thought, this speaks to me, and you'd quote it. And I went, what? No, it was an angry rant against... She said, I just thought it was a celebration of anal. I thought, that's brilliant. That's brave. And people were coming up to me at Soho Theatre, masked 2 metres away, but they were... I don't know why they were standing 2 metres away. In retrospect, it could have been the rules. It could have been they were scared that I was like... I'd lost... I don't know, but people thought... They just didn't see what I was talking about. They just thought I'd done a big celebration of anal on my timeline for everyone to see. And I've never talked about it for good reason.
Love that. Lovely. I didn't know that, and now I do.
I did delete it pretty swiftly.
Oh.
Felt cute, might delete later. Tom's saying get the fuck on with it. He's right, we said it would be shorter. We advertised it as shorter. These people have come back in good faith.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Your husband just pops out and went, all right.
He doesn't. This is the thing. He doesn't care about what I say on stage. He's so. For years, I've held back this kind of stuff because I felt it was not respectful or whatever. And he's like, "Whatever you say on stage is like it could or could not be true. That I know you're a comedian, so I'll never take what you say on stage to be true." Now that happens to be true, but no, most of what I say on stage is true. It's like occasionally you obviously change the names to protect the innocent, but. You don't change the facts. You don't change the truth.
Change the facts to protect the innocent.
Change the truth. Hello, Guilty Feminists. This is Deborah. We have some shows coming up. If you're in London, we will be at the Soho Theatre on the 30th of May and the 31st of May. And we will be at King's Place on the 5th of June, the 22nd of June, and the 24th of July. For tickets, go to guiltyfeminist.com and click on live shows. My play, Never Have I Ever, is at Chichester Festival Theatre from the 1st to the 30th of September. Tickets are now on sale, but I'm glad to say they're going fast. So if you'd like to see it, go to cft.org.uk and look for Never Have I Ever with the incredible Susie Wokoma, Alexandra Roach and Greg Wise and more. And on the 21st of August, there will be a special episode of The Guilty Feminist from Chichester, where hopefully we'll be talking all things Never Have I Ever. Join our Patreon to get ad-free episodes and to support the show. And if you could go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcast and give any episode of The Guilty Feminist that you thought was good 5 stars, we'd really appreciate that. Also, if you could tell someone you know with your face or on a WhatsApp group or on a social media platform that you enjoy The Guilty Feminist and share that with them, it really helps spread the word about the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you coming out live. We appreciate everything you do and supporting any of the activist or artistic causes we share with you. And now, back to the podcast. We've got to get our guest on.
Yes.
So
I'm excited about this. I'm going to learn so much.
I know. So just to briefly, my little piece is on the clitoris before we get the guest out.
Here we go. I'm going to put my microphone down so I don't interrupt.
Okay. So this is about the clitoris. So first thing, just more broadly round vaginas, I've written a type 5 or a baggy 3 about vaginas. Firstly, is I hardly ever look at mine. If nothing's wrong, I assume it looks like it did last time I saw it. It's not prudishness at all. It's just a design flaw. It's hidden. I'm a very busy woman. I don't have time to be down there with a mirror the whole time. I've got activism to do and stuff. I do it by feel. Sometimes I just check everything's okay, or if I feel something, or if I need, I don't know, I like a wax, and I'm not ashamed. So if I can just like go, oh, yeah, okay. But my waxing person sees it more than I do. That's the truth. The clitoris is the tip of an iceberg, is both a headline on Healthline magazine and also a name I'm trying on for my autobiography. The clitoris is the tip of my iceberg. I'm not just a walking clitoris. Like, I've got more to me. Historically, the clitoris was understood to be a pea-sized collection of nerve endings tucked away under a fold of skin, either called the clitoral hood. Now, actually, what happened is in 2009, a group of French researchers created a life-size 3D printed model of what they call the pleasure center. Now, it would be French, wouldn't it? I just feel like that sounds right to me. That when the first thing happened, we got 3D printers now, and other people started going, oh, what could we make with those, like coffee mugs and clutches for cars and even human bits of whatever. And the French went, the first step, the clitoris. Hélène, if you're in, high five to you. I hope you're on that research team. Now, we know the clitoris is not... These days, we know, of course, the clitoris is an expansive network of nerve endings. Looks like a four-pronged wishbone, which is, you'd get a good wish out of that, wouldn't you? Everyone gets what they want with a four-pronged wishbone. That's the great thing about it. Here are some facts about the clitoris. Firstly, it's way bigger than you think. It's not just that bit on the end. Secondly, it functions like a penis. Okay? So basically, a penis is a pushed-out clitoris, and a clitoris is a turned-in penis. So what we've got is a penis that will not surprise anybody unnecessarily. The clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings. The penis only has 4 nerve endings. No, 4,000. 4,000. Sorry?
Not accurate urban myth. It comes from a study about cows.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thank you. So the fourth point there is that third point isn't true. It's not true. It's an urban myth based on cows.
Unless you're listening as a man cow.
A man cow's a bull.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But maybe, is that true of cows but not of humans? Is that true?
It's complicated. The human clitoris probably has about 10,000 nerve endings.
Are you our guest?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll get you on and you can tell us what we said wrong. The clitoris keeps growing and never ages. And by the way, if any of this other stuff is wrong, just like the nose, the clitoris keeps on growing past puberty. Not only that, it never ages. There is no physical difference between a 30 or 70-year-old clitoris bar the size. So whatever
I'm
age
getting
you're...
mine out at the gym.
The clitoris was officially discovered in the 1500s by a man. Now, history does not relate to whether or not women had found it before that. Women and trans people using, of course, a different framing, I'm sure will have found their own clitoris. At least some of them will. I don't imagine they were all clit-literate or ecliterate, which is something that I've just coined because I think it's good to say, are you ecliterate? I.e., do you know enough about the clitoris? And if you don't have one, but you like to play with them, then you should know more. And even if you do have one. This one is the clitoris is the only human organ specifically designed to give pleasure. It enlarges around the time of ovulation. So if you're on if you think, oh, my clitoris is larger than normal, you're probably ovulating. So that's some nice things to know about the clitoris.
Love them.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Hello, Guilty Feminists. It's Jessica Regan here. I am jumping on to tell you some very exciting news. I am in a play called Strike that is opening on the 13th of April at the Southwark Playhouse, Borough. This play tells the true story, of one of the longest strikes in recent history, that of the Dunstore strikers in Dublin. 9 women and 1 man made the decision to go on strike in July 1984 to protest the apartheid regime in South Africa. And you will not believe what happened as a result of their actions. If you want to see a show that's going to take you on an epic journey, that will move and inspire you and remind you of the incredible things that can be achieved when people come together, then book for Strike. But also, if you book on April 18th for the matinee performance, you will be treated to a Q&A after, hosted by none other than Guilty Feminist royalty Alison Spittle, interviewing the original strikers upon whom the play is based. We couldn't be prouder or happier to partner with the Guilty Feminist to spread the word about this incredible story, this theatrical event, and of course, the opportunity to meet, see and hear these people who made enormous sacrifices for people they had never met and changed the world. Get booking, go to southwarkplayhouse.co.uk. We cannot wait to see you there. And if you see me, I'll have a big Guilty Feminist hug for you.
Our guest today is the director and founder of the world's first bricks and mortar Vagina Museum. She has a background in science, communication, comedy and activism with a degree in biochemistry. Her groundbreaking book, V, An Empowering Celebration of the Vulva and Vagina, aims to inform, empower and debunk outdated myths and inspire confidence in one's own body. Please welcome to the stage, Florence Schechter.
I'm so sorry for interrupting you before. I just couldn't let it go.
No.
I loved it.
What else did we get wrong and what do you know?
We were talking about all the corrections in the audience.
Oh, really?
Clitorises aren't so much turned-in penises. I would say penises are just very big clitorises. They're essentially the same organ. They only differ in size. And where the urethra is, obviously. I can tell you how to find your urethra if you want to.
I'm a feminist, and yes, please.
This is, if anybody in the audience wants to know, basically get a mirror down there, and then, you know that feeling when you're peeing and you want to stop mid-flow? You know that clench you do? Do that, let go, do that, let go. You'll see your urethra hole winking at you.
Oh. And is that its science name, urethra hole?
Urethral opening, yeah.
Opening.
Urethral. Yes. But piss pipe is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to say that, in all my future outreach workshops.
Oh my, yes.
Can I just say, what made you start a bricks and mortar Vagina Museum?
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love vaginas.
I mean, it's a great job for someone who fucking loves vaginas.
It'd be fucking weird, actually, if you were I
love museums, and there wasn't one about vaginas. Not a fan, but, you've got to fill the niche that's there. There was a gap in the market, all puns intended.
Well, how it came about was I found out that there's a penis museum in Iceland. Fantastic, great. Nothing against that. But there was no vagina equivalent anywhere in the world at the time. And I literally just was on Twitter because I am overly online and a millennial. And I was like, lol, there's no vagina museum, but there is a penis museum. We should make one. And then I was like, oh, no, wait, we should make one. And so I did.
Wow.
So it's literally
amazing.
Tell us.
And I want to know about interesting artefacts.
Like what we've got on display in the museum.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a pair of my own. There is a pair of my own knickers on display in the museum.
Amazing.
Yeah. So there was a really funny moment when basically I wanted to do an object that described this phenomenon that our vaginas during puberty and menopause are acidic. And they bleach our knickers. So during puberty and menopause, our vaginas are about sort of pH 3.8.
Right.
It's about the same pH.
What could you kill with that?
Well, not much. Not much, because it's about the same pH as white wine.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I knew there was a
Delicious.
reason I liked putting both in my mouth. Anyway, so...
Guys, you need to get on board with this.
So because of that, our vaginas bleach our knickers.
Yeah.
So there's like these...
That's not just through puberty and menopause, or otherwise I've been in puberty or menopause all my life. Like, it's just different times of the month or the year, or if
There's all sorts going on, yeah.
Your pH does change with your cycle, but before puberty and after menopause, your vagina's about neutral pH. It's about pH 7, so it's not going to bleach your knickers as much.
Oh.
Yeah.
I need to see a doctor. I've always had that, like, just, when knickers get older, that part looks bleached. I've never really questioned it.
But, like, at what age did you start noticing that?
I don't remember. I don't think I've got a diary on that. I
don't feel
I don't
like
know.
I've seen that for a very long time, but it feels like a distant, familiar memory.
Yeah. I mean, I had my first period at 11, and so, I don't... Yeah!
That gets the woo, that's funny.
And I don't really remember looking at my knickers pre-age 11, so...
No.
Yeah.
I guess so. Maybe it hasn't happened in a while, actually. But I think it's not a hallmark of me thinking... I wear black knickers a lot, of me thinking these are sort of looking
Ready
a bit...
to be moved on.
God, I'm so sorry, you guys. No one needs to hear about my knickers.
No, but maybe they need to be put in a museum, because that's what I did.
No, that won't be happening.
God.
Well,
no.
so Well, I did. We'll differ there, Deborah. Because I wanted to sort of display in the museum that this is a completely normal thing, because a lot of people don't realise that it's a completely normal thing.
Yeah.
People suffer in silence because we talk to our friends about, contraception and sometimes sex, but you're not going to be like, your knickers bleached as well. That's a bit of a weird thing to say. So a lot of people don't realise it's a completely normal thing. So I said, why don't we put some on display in the museum? So I went to my curator, Sarah, and I was very afraid of being sued, because I said to her, hey, Sarah, do you want to bring me your knickers for work? And she actually loved the idea. So we put on display some of our own knickers to show how they get bleached.
That's very, very interesting. I feel better about it now. If it was in a group of other people's knickers, I might. But I'm not going to, but still.
When I do tours, I do ask visitors to be like, guess which one's mine?
Oh, I would feel relaxed from seeing yours, though. I think I would go, that's... I'd like to see yours.
Relaxed.
Yeah,
my
just
God,
sort of, I'm normal, that kind of thing.
That's totally the aim of the Vagina Museum. I'm going to tell the trustees that. I'm going to tell the Charity Commission that.
Relax about all things vagina.
What else? Tell us more about vaginas and museums.
Have you had any creeps come through?
We have had a handful of creeps.
Yeah.
But
mainly it's legends.
Yeah. It genuinely is.
The two genders, creeps and legends.
Well, it
New
kind of
gender
is,
system just dropped. Yeah.
But isn't it? Like, to visit, it's going to be creeps or legends, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've had all sorts of people come in. We've had people of all ages, of sexualities, of different jobs, from different countries. We've had one of my favourite demos that come in is single dads, because they have daughters. And they're
that's wonderful.
I don't know how to have this conversation about periods, about puberty, about vaginas. So
Bleached
I'm going to
pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is.
So they bring their daughters to the Vagina Museum, and they're like, "Don't ask me questions. Ask that gallery assistant."
Are the daughters? Are some daughters thrilled and some daughters mortified?
What I would say about kids coming to the Vagina Museum, because people ask me this a lot, because there's no minimum age to visit, is that they do what every single kid does in a museum, which is immediately look for the nearest thing to push or draw on. They don't care. A lot of the time it's parents going, you need to learn this. And they're like, Mummy, when can I have ice cream?
Is there a gift shop?
There is. It's amazing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's my son's first question.
There you go. I'm wearing something we sell in the... Read what it says.
Cunt.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So,
great word.
Do you have a 3D...
In Scotland, that would just say mate.
Do you have a 3D printed clitoris? Do you have a...
We actually do, yes. Yes.
Wow.
People send us all sorts of random things in the post where they go, I made a thing, you have it, or whatever. And we have quite a few 3D printed clitorises.
So it's the history of the vagina, the history, but the sort of history of the discovery of the vagina.
When did it begin?
Like the sort of... Do you have a picture of the man who discovered the clitoris?
Oh my God! Okay, so the man you're talking about, Realdo Matteo Columbus.
What's his name? Columbus.
Yes,
he also discovered America.
I know. Two members of the same family who claim to discover things they didn't
Were they
discover.
the same?
No, it wasn't the same family. No,
that's fascinating. Though. Two men called Columbus who both thought no one's been using this. I'll say it's mine.
Yeah. No, that's a really interesting story.
A continent and a continent.
Deborah.
That's actually a really interesting story because basically he was an anatomist in 16th century Italy, and he said, you know, I've never read about the clitoris in a textbook, an anatomy book of any kind, so I must be the first person to discover it. And he wrote in his book, I am discovering the clitoris, and he named it like Amor de Venus, like the...
Did he put a flag in?
Oh God, I hope not. But funnily enough, Fallopio, the guy after whom the fallopian tubes are named.
For fuck's sake.
I know.
Fallopio?
Wow. Yeah.
That sounds like a really porny Disney animation, doesn't it? It does explain why it grows.
It's not his nose growing.
Do you think about Pinocchio's nose in that context? What is that? That's an erection. That's an unwanted erection saying you're lying. You do fancy me. Oh my God, I've never seen Pinocchio that way, but now it's all I can see. Oh God!
One big fallopian tube. He said the same thing around the same time. He was also an Italian anatomist, and so that he also published in his book, I am the first person to write about the clitoris, therefore I must be the discoverer. And then they died. Their books were published. It took a really long time for books to be published compared to nowadays. And their students both claimed that the other was plagiarizing them, and so took the others to court, and they had to go to an Italian Renaissance court and say, actually, my teacher discovered the clitoris. The judge threw the case out.
Wow.
Yeah. Was the judge a woman?
No.
Amazing. Wouldn't it be amazing?
That would be a great turn. Well, we didn't, Sister Kevin. That was a shock. We didn't see that coming. So if we come to could you tell us where the Vagina Museum is?
So, unfortunately, I have sad news. So, yeah, I know. So the Vagina Museum started in 2017. And we got our first building in 2019. We opened it in Camden Market. We were there for 2 years, but then our landlord did not want to renew our lease, unfortunately. So we moved to a property guardianship in Bethnal Green. It closed. Oh, are you just like Bethnal Green people? Yeah. Right. Yay. So we were evicted a few weeks ago, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah. So we are now looking for a new premises. Mm-hmm. Fingers crossed that'll open soon.
Where would you like to be? What's the dream?
God. Yeah, I mean, anywhere that'll have us and not kick us out. We have on our website a page that says find us a home, and it has information about what we need out of a building if you would like to help us. So go to our website, vaginamuseum.co.uk. Okay.
Amazing.
All right, so if any listeners, has anyone here got any leads in the room? Anyone think they know? Or know anyone? Okay.
Any of you are landlords?
No one's going to say. What? Meanwhile space.
Yes, I mean, that's what Bethnal Green was. It was meanwhile space. The thing is we need stability, you know. We need a place where we're not going to be kicked out with a week's notice.
I feel that about my vagina. I need stability, and I need to know my vagina's not going to be kicked out at a moment's notice. I feel similarly. Well, listen, if you're listening and you know of a space or you would like to host the Vagina Museum, and then please, where do they write to you?
info@vaginamuseum.co.uk.
Great. Info@vaginamuseum.co.uk. And I would love you to read a little bit out of your book, Florence. Would you like to read a little bit from your book?
Yeah, I would be honoured.
What's your book called?
It's called V, an empowering celebration of the vulva and vagina. Yay! So what I'll read is the intro to the chapter. Your vulva will never smell like a candle.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if it's Gwyneth Paltrow's vulva?
Okay. So people from Penguin are in the audience and they can tell me if there needs to be cut out or not. But I had a whole rant about Gwyneth Paltrow in the book. And it's got downgraded to like maybe a paragraph, and I had to send a lot of documents to the legal team at Penguin to be like, just in case we're sued for libel, here's all the info that you need. Okay, so this is chapter 9, Your Vulva Will Never Smell Like a Candle. It's my chapter all about anti-capitalism, the feminine hygiene industry, the wellness industry, all of that sort of thing. Have you ever walked down the feminine hygiene aisle at the supermarket and thought, is all this necessary? Do I need to use all these products? Well, my friend, these are very good questions. We are constantly being told by society that our vaginas are dirty, smelly, messy, disgusting, bad. You've probably seen products for vaginal cleaning or yoni steaming on Instagram. Maybe you've seen ads for vaginal deodorants, sprays, wipes, douches, and who knows what else. And maybe you've started to wonder, why are these companies telling you that your natural body is gross? It's literally called the feminine hygiene industry, as though our vulvas are naturally unhygienic. Why are we told this? You know already that patriarchy is at work here, but there is another major factor at play. Money. Or more specifically, capitalism. The global feminine hygiene industry was valued at $19 billion in 2020. The more we are told our bodies are disgusting, the more shame we feel and the more products we buy. If you were happy and proud of your body, would you buy all of this rubbish? Almost certainly not. The industry is based on shame. But I'm here to tell you something radical. There is absolutely nothing shameful about the way our vulvas naturally look or smell. Understanding that we live in a capitalist society that profits off making us ashamed of our bodies is revolutionary. It's a way of standing up for yourself and realizing your worth. I hope this chapter stays with you as you're walking through shopping aisles, watching adverts, learning from and listening to the people around you. I hope it stays ingrained in your mind as you wonder if you really need to buy a certain product that promises to make you more acceptable according to society's standards. I hope it helps you question, who is setting these standards? By the end of this chapter, I hope you'll have the confidence to strut down the feminine hygiene aisle and shout, I don't need you. I love myself as I am.
I endorse and second that.
Lovely business. Absolutely lovely bit of business, mate.
Yeah.
Buy my book!
All the money you've saved.
Yeah.
With vag wipes that smell of candles. And you can use to buy this book.
Exactly. What is there anything else you would like us to know about the vagina or your book?
I just want you all to know that we should all love our vulvas. Our vulvas are wonderful, beautiful things. Please celebrate vulvas. Support the people in your life that have vulvas, no matter what gender they are. And spread the V-love.
Spread the V-love. It has been absolutely wonderful to have you on, Florence. You can buy V, an empowering celebration of the vulva and vagina, ideally at an independent bookshop, but if not, find it online. Ideally buy it from someone who pays their tax. Please give it up for the incredible Florence Schechter.
Lovely.
Jessica, do you have anything to plug?
Please may listen to my podcast, Hoovering. It's all about eating.
And are there any shows that we should come to?
No, I've just finished a tour. But
what about your...
Stay in!
What about your one that
Stay
you're recording? Aren't you recording it?
It's sold out.
It's sold out. But when can we get the recording?
Yeah, it's sensible. Please stream my show, Wench. Even if you've seen it live, stream it.
Stream it. And as you're streaming it, just go, and you'll see it winking at you. All right. You have been listening to The Guilty Feminist with me, Deborah Francis-Boyd. Yes, the host of our very special guest, Florence Schecter. The recording engineer was Push Up. listening. For more information about this and other episodes, visit guiltyfeminist.com. I mean,
definitely cut that out, Tom.
I don't get the impression Gwyneth Paltrow knows there are other people. Is that wrong of me to say? Penguin, do I have to cut that out? Penguin said it was fine. Continue.
Sorry. No problem. Okay.
The Guilty Feminist is provided exclusively from Acast. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.